All right. What is going on, guys? Just about 3 o'clock. Thought I'd do a little bit of an impromptu stream today. I ended up having the day free, and I wanted to kind of chip away at some of these small issues in our city. Not so much issues, just things that I'll press play, but just things that we needed to come back and take a step back and take a look at. Fix a couple of things, and just overall do some redevelopment around the city. So my focus today is to fix our public transit networks, which currently we only have buses. So I'm going to fix some buses and start thinking about maybe another public transit form of public transit as well. So we'll see about that. And then we also are going to do a little bit of redevelopment for these residential areas, and increase some of the density around here, around like the city center and stuff. We have, in the last episode, we built this hospital. We have an increased residential area here, or increased density there. So plenty of new residents there. And I want to kind of give the rest of this area that same treatment, since we haven't had a chance to really come back to these areas yet and really, do the redevelopment that I've been meaning to do. And also, sorry about my voice. I've been sick all week with a pretty bad cold. So yeah, now we're getting better, thankfully, and still lingering effects of that. So that's why I sound the way that I do, but feeling good, relaxing today. Thought I'd jump in here and do a little bit of work. So to start, let's go ahead and start with the bus situation. So with the bus situation, the first thing that I actually want to do is move the bus terminal. And I figured this will kind of be a nice, like, clean slate for us. We might just kind of start fresh in terms of the bus lines, and just reuse some of the existing stops, but we're obviously going to add some new lines and everything too. So I am going to go ahead and start real quick by just removing the bus depot over here, or not removing it, but actually moving it. I want to move it, I'm thinking right about here. This would be a good spot to do it, because that way we have, you can see I already put this bus lane here, so we could put a kind of an offshoot to a bus terminal right here, and then have them jump right back on this road and just kind of do a nice loop around here. So let's go ahead and check that out. Just going to decrease our brush size and remove some of these trees here. Let's give ourselves a nice clean slate to work off of. So yeah, so we're just going to drag out. I'm thinking I don't want to use the big bus station or the local bus station. Obviously, we can't fit that here with this road. We can't fit this one there either. And these are just a little bit overkill, I think, for the city. So I think what we're going to do is just reuse the same asset. So I think I might just move this instead of actually rebuilding it. But it'll be good to that this is just a perfect size. I kind of like this, the fact that the city is a little bit scaled down. It's a little bit easier to work with. We can use some of the smaller assets rather than having these big, massive, terminals everywhere and stuff. And so the reason that I'm putting the bus terminal over here is over here I want to leave this space for a potentially a tram terminal. I'm thinking I want to add some trams around here, or just something, something like that, a tram terminal, some other kind of public transit asset. So I'm going to leave that there for now, but I'm going to go ahead and I think I might just delete all of these lines for now. I'm tempted to do that rather than trying to kind of work around. Actually, you know what? No, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to leave them as is. But for this bus terminal, let me think about how I want to actually do this here. So I can maybe drag out, if I drag out like a one-way road, one of these one-lane roads here. Can you do, this is what I'm curious about. Let's just test this out real quick. Can you do a bus lane on an alleyway? Let's see. No, you cannot. No, you cannot. Okay. Well, what I think you can do is something like this. If I go here, can I just make like, yeah, there we go. That's what I'm kind of looking for. Something like that. So if I do like a two-way bus lane there, then it can connect up the the bus terminal to kind of the side of this somehow. That might be the way to do this. Yeah, I think we're going to do that. So let's go ahead and just drag this out from this road here. And we'll do something maybe like, about like this. So if we drag this out and then we can drag this around. And then do something kind of like this. And then just back up like that. Then we can kind of fill this in with, you know, some nice landscaping and things. And make this kind of a nice little focal point for the area. So let's see if we can actually connect this to this, or if it's not going to let us do that. I feel like it will. It should. Oh, awesome. I want to bring it on the one-way side, though, if I can. Or is it not going to let me do that? Oh, it's got to be in. I need a, it does need a road connection there. Yeah, so why wouldn't it let me do that? Very strange that I can't connect it like that. Oh, maybe because you can't zone on those. Is that what it is? Yeah, maybe. Well, then in that case, I guess we'll just do it like this. Which honestly is fine. It fits right in here perfectly. Or which side is that on, actually? I want it to be... I want it to be on this side. Oh, I see the problem now. I see the problem. It actually... You can't zone on these. So, okay, so we do actually have to use like an actual road and then upgrade it to have the bus lanes. I see. Okay, so we can't just use those. That's a little frustrating. I thought it would be like City Skylines 1 where we could do something like that, but apparently we cannot. So, oh well. Live and learn. So yeah, so instead we're going to do this. We're going to add... See, now that's going to be... Well, I guess I take that back because now we can do it the way that I wanted to do it. Okay, perfect. Let's do this. And then we'll drag out the one way. And I don't want to connect this. I don't want to connect that. And I do it without connecting it. No, it's not going to let me. Or will it? If I can do something like this. Aha, City Skylines. Gotcha. Nice. Okay, cool. That's excellent. All right, so we could do something kind of like this. And then let's see if we can do like... Ah, dang, but now I can't do that. All right, let's see if we can do this again here. If I could do that, disconnect that. No. Third time's the charm. I know I can do this. It's going to let me do it. Just like that. Beautiful. Look at us. Really, really maximizing the capacity of the vanilla game here. This is perfect. So yeah, hey guys, welcome. If you're just joining the stream, first thing, sorry about my voice. I'm getting over a little bit of a cold, you know, but had some time today and wanted to kind of chip away at some of these things. So didn't think this warranted a full episode, but just, you know, a little bit of patience, a little bit of working through some of these problem areas in our city, redeveloping these residential areas over here. And then, the main problem that I'm talking about is our public transit. So I want to fix our public transit. And, like I said, didn't really warrant a full episode. So we'll just chip away at this for an hour or two this afternoon, see if we can redevelop some things, make things flow a little bit smoothly. But yeah, so here we are, just moving our bus depot over here, kind of getting the infrastructure in place. And now we could go ahead and actually, I think, do something like this. Yeah, that'll work. And then just kind of wrap this around like so. Yeah, so this is what I think what we need to do here. So now we can actually take this and swap it over here. There we go. That is exactly what I wanted the first time. Okay, sweet. Yeah, so now all of our bus lines are tweaking out. But honestly, I'm happy with that because that frees up this space so we can actually make this like this whole area a little bit more useful. And I'm gonna redo this anyway, like these buildings here. I'm actually gonna I'm gonna say I'm gonna go as far as to redevelop all of these like urban promenade buildings here because I put these down when the pack first came out, which was awesome. You know, gave us some nice medium density, kind of more modern buildings. But I want to go back for this city. I want to go back and kind of back in time and do some older buildings here instead of the new modern ones. I like the modern ones over here on the waterfront. I think the urban promenade buildings look great in this little development here, in this little walkable, you know, waterfront development. But here, it's time to kind of go back to the drawing board. And same thing with this center park. It just, I've gotten better. So, you know, I've gotten better at the game. So I just don't want to keep that. But anyway, back to the bus terminal. We have this little park here. I'm going to remove this park, sadly, but you know, got to do what you got to do. And we'll go ahead and redevelop kind of all of this, I think. And man, deleting, I'll tell you, man, deleting some stuff in this game is just, it's actually like painful. You can't like select trees all that well, and it's just like really annoying. But anyway, I'm not gonna complain too much. So let's reduce this surface area. We'll go back like just like that. We'll make this a 90. Much better there. Yeah, let me know how the audio is in the chat. I know the game volume is going to be a little quieter. I actually did a live stream the other day with American Truck Simulator and realized that I forgot to adjust my game volume in the stream. So the game was super loud and my voice was super quiet. So I've since adjusted the game volume down, which in City Skylines is not that big a deal because there's really not a lot of game volume in here anyway. But if the music is too loud, you know, just let me know. But it should be a lot quieter. You might even barely be able to hear it. But just something in the background to kind of keep things, you know, interesting other than just listening to my voice. But anyway, we're also going to do what I love to do around little areas like this and just turn this into a... I'm going to remove all the parking here. I don't think it makes sense to have parking along a kind of like bus, you know, turnaround circle like this. This is not a place where we would want cars sitting to park. We obviously have parking lots for the train station, and I'm probably going to add in some more as well. I'm even thinking about adding in another parking garage or two around this area because this is going to be, again, this is like a big transit hub. You know, we're going to have a lot of people kind of frequenting this area, so we're going to have to build some additional parking infrastructure. And this garage is too big for right here, but I think maybe we could fit it over here, kind of by our tram terminal once we get that built. And I'm pretty set on having a tram terminal. I think the more that I think about it, the more that I want trams around this city. I know we could do like a metro, but I think doing a metro would be, or like a subway, you know. But I think doing something like that, just, the city's a little bit small for that, in my opinion. I feel like that might be better suited for, we can maybe do something like that in our second city over here. Or, I know that we're going to jump across the pond here at some point and build some, you know, bigger urban area like over here. Maybe we can do like a metro over there or something, right? So, nothing that we're going to get into in this city. But anyway, let's now go back and I'm actually going to clear out this and all of this. I don't know what I'm going to do here yet, but I want to kind of go back to the drawing board on that. This terrain is a little bit whack too, as you can see. Like we got these weird hills going on here, so I'm not a fan. But okay, let's delete those trees. And again, we'll come back to this in a minute. But yeah, okay, so we got the bus terminal relocated. Now I think what we should do, actually, you know what, let me add. You guys want to detail this up? Let's detail this up a little bit. I think we'll do that. Why not? So, let's add a little park area here. How about that? Like right by the train. I think that'd be kind of cool. You know, instead of making this a parking lot, like I said, we'll build a parking garage over here to service the transit area specifically. So I think here it would be cool if we did like a little park area. That'd be very nice. We could do like a little yard for the station, but we already kind of have that, and I'm not going to expand this. So I think this is just going to stay. Yeah, I like that. We're just going to leave that there. It's all right. Let's see what we could do in terms of parks. I'm not going to do anything crazy. We have Chirplet Park. We have some of these new kind of goofy looking ones. I wonder if we could fit. Yeah, what about like something like this? Like kind of a nod to sort of like a old industrial past, not past, P-A-S-T. I love some of these new little parks here because they give, you know, the sense that like this dockyard lounge, you know, it's built from like some old shipping containers, and you figure that this whole area here was once very industrial, as a lot of things are when you have a when you have like an old train station, you know, that sits on the kind of close to the water. A lot of that comes from an old industrial rail yard, so it's kind of cool to have a nod to that old industry by kind of preserving some of that architecture and some of those, you know, old warehouses and stuff. So that's why I think that, you know, adding a something like this dockyard lounge might be kind of cool. Also, I forget that this is part of the new, it's from a content creator pack, like the leisure venues or something. And so we can actually look at our signature buildings, and we have tons and tons and tons of signature buildings. I think a lot of them, yeah, a lot of them are commercial. So maybe do something like one of these. Let me just kind of browse through these real quick. I know there's a couple that might fit. I think if we had like a cool, what if you had like a cool restaurant maybe by the train? An old lounge, something like that. I don't know if people are going to want to sit by the train and eat, but you know, you never know. You never know. No, definitely not a nightclub. Brews, that's a little suburban. Let me just take a little look here. See if there's anything else that kind of catches my eye. A lot of these leisure ones are built, I feel like these would fit very well in like a suburb. And these lounges, you know, we could put one of these like somewhere else, but I think next to a train station is not the move. Yeah, we're not going to do that here. I think we're going to save that. So let me go back to my original point. Back to the park, which is over here. We'll do the dockyard lounge. And to do this, I need to make, I need to turn it. So let's do like just a little offshoot. Let's do a little alleyway like off of this intersection maybe. Yeah, so this should work for us. Just as a way for like maintenance vehicles and stuff, you know, to get over here. And it's weird that it's not like letting me. I want to put it right on this corner. Oh, what the heck? I gotta turn it. Let's see if we could do this. Yeah, and it looks like I can even bring this alleyway around if I really wanted to. And have it like connect up over here. But at that point though, it's kind of just building roads just to build roads. But honestly, why not? And you know what we could actually do? We could make it a one-way. Except that'll make parking on the sides, which I don't. Oh, you know what we could do? Let's do this. There we go. Pedestrian street. That's smart. I like that. I like that a lot better. Perfect. And then we'll add a nice natural barrier here so that people aren't walking on the train tracks. So we'll add like some trees and such. Yeah, I think that's a really cool asset that fits in quite well, you know, so people can kind of sit at the park and watch the trains go by. You never know. So some people, you know, some people like that. What about a team, like a circulator, maybe? Oh, like a tram? Yeah. Yeah. So I actually have been talking past couple minutes about bringing a tram over here, and so I was going to use this area for a nice tram network. And if you're talking about bringing the tram over here to the park, that's also a good idea. I think I might, you know, bring it kind of along. I'm sure it'll come along this road here. At like somehow we can kind of rotate it around the park there, or something like that. So either way, we're gonna have tram access in this area 100%. We're gonna build that. Don't know if it'll be today, but we're gonna build it. Unless you guys are feeling really adamant about building a tram network, I could build a tram network. We'll see. Let me think about it here in a minute. But yeah, let's first get this bus network sorted out, since there's like 1,000 people waiting at the bus terminal at any given moment. Yeah, you can just see like, oh my gosh, 73 passengers. What about this line? I know there's like some that are just crazy. And maybe not these so much, but some of these in-town ones have been really, really full. And since I moved it, it might not be that bad, but when we started, like, it'd be terrible. Yeah, I agree. The people in the community would want to be connected to the park. Yeah, so I think what we'll do is we'll build the tram. When we build the tram, we'll have it come along, you know, somehow come along this main road. And either way, it'll connect up like right here somehow. So we'll connect it. We'll have some sort of, like you said, either a circulation around the park on this pedestrian street, or at the very least, just have a stop like right here by this train station where people can walk to the park. They can walk to the train station. And I know this isn't, you know, this may not be the most ideal asset to put here, but you know, when I think about it, like I live in Chicago and there's a lot of I'm thinking of like kind of the Van Buren station area. So Millennium Station is actually underground and it's right under Millennium Park, and then the Van Buren station is like sunken, but it's right next to a bunch of parkland. It goes right next to Grant Park and Millennium Park. And so you could justify having parks by train stations, right? I mean, even though it might be a little bit noisy and whatever, but there's a lot of greenery, you know, and it's a nice way to kind of divide all of this rail from the rest of the city, right? So we'll have this nice, you know, this park area, this transit hub, and, you know, we have the tree-lined streets, we have kind of the main road. This is a nice open area. So I think it makes sense in my mind, at least. So, you know, I'll take that, but anyway, apologies again, guys, if you're new to the stream. Apologies again for my voice. I'm getting over a bit of a cold this week. The weather in Chicago has been extremely back and forth and crazy and just like extremely awful. So yeah, one thing that I'm realizing, all my trees are dying. Like, man, if I got to go through and like replace trees, that kind of sucks if I have to do that. It seems like some of them kind of do that on their own. It looks like they go back to the young, like the young sapling. I didn't know that was a thing in City Skylines, that your trees would like die and then they like regrow. So I guess that's good as long as you don't have to go back and like replant them, because that'll be really annoying. But anyway, okay. Problems with live streams. I talk too much. So now let's go ahead and detail this up a bit. Just plant some trees around here and get some little grasses, and we'll do a little bit of landscaping. So let me just chip away at this. So I think in the middle here, we'll do a nice centerpiece with some, see the wildflower. Where's my cultivated bush? There we go. We'll just do something kind of clean. Talking a lot is a good thing. Yeah. I get mixed reviews. You know, so some people like it when I explain, you know, kind of what I'm doing, but some people find that it's a bit, you spend a lot of time talking and less time building, which I totally agree with. It's good in live streams, but I got to be a little bit better in my videos about not talking so much. I think I spend too much time kind of explaining what I'm trying to do instead of actually just putting the nose to the grindstone and getting it done. So in live streams though, I'll take it. And yeah, again, just apologies the state of my voice. It's not the best right now for talking, but I got a nice raspberry tea, so we are in good shape as far as I'm concerned. But okay, yeah, so we'll do something like that, and then we'll put some trees in the middle. These London plane trees are just so perfect for areas like this. Oh man, I'm almost tempted I could fit a third. No, I'm not gonna. I want to bump this one over just a little bit more. Yeah, sometimes it is hard to have stuff to say. I realize that in City Skylines it's a little bit easier because you can talk about what you're doing. But in other games, I know it's like it's tough sometimes. I feel I do agree. But let's see here. What else can I do? How do you come up with ideas for your city? Well, you know, actually, a lot of the ideas that I get from my city, I take from places that I don't like that at all. Ugh. Get out of here. Anyway, excuse me. A lot of the ideas that I get from my cities, I take from real places. Particularly, oh, thank you, Anna. Really appreciate that. I feel great today, at least. This week I felt bad, But now I have like terrible sinuses anyway and terrible allergies, so I finally feel better physically, but you know, the sinus crap just lingers for like days. But anyway, sorry, Anonymous, back to your question. How do you come up with ideas? I get a lot of ideas about where I live and places that I see. You know, I venture around on Google Earth a lot, and mainly, you know, I live in Chicago, and I've always lived near Chicago and grew up in Northwest Indiana, very close to Chicago. So I take a lot of inspiration from Chicago, and amongst other cities. You know, I think there's cool, depending on the project. You know, there's a project that I did in City Skylines 1 that was based off of Russia and like Eastern Europe. You know, there are some on my live stream, my other city that I live stream on, I'm trying to do a Japanese build. And so it just, you know, I get inspired by kind of little parts of different cities. In Chicago, for example, like Lakeshore Drive, the concept of Lakeshore Drive is really cool to me. Just having like a big, that's kind of where like this whole part came from, right? So this whole uninterrupted traffic flow that kind of goes through the main parts of your city and is kind of a cross between an interstate and like a main avenue. You know, like that is something that is very Chicago-ish to me, right? And same thing with like, you know, the whole like Grant Park and everything by the waterfront. That's what I'm kind of envision. You know, I'm not going to put like a park here or anything. I might do something like over here with a little bit of a parkland, but you know, I'm going to have a mix of like residential and parkland, because that's kind of what's cool about Chicago, is that you have this really nice, there's a lot of really nice waterfront developments, especially as you get more north. There's a nice amount of waterfront residential buildings and everything. So, you know, that's where I come up with ideas, just kind of thinking about you know, specific areas and what I want to accomplish in a specific area. I think it helps to build your cities like piece by piece, organically for that matter, right? Like starting and kind of spreading out, but then thinking about it's hard to let me back up. It's really easy in City Skylines to open the game and go, man, I have so much to do, I'm overwhelmed. You just look around for a little while and then say, forget it, and shut the game off. You know, that's super easy to do, and I've done it a lot. But it really helps to say, okay, today I'm going to jump in, I'm going to go to this area, and I'm going to do this thing or these 2 or 3 things, right? And like that's what I'm doing in this live stream. I want to fix the bus network. I want to redevelop these residential blocks right here, like these 3. Like that's what I want to do in this live stream. And you know, going in with that mindset, it really helps you focus your energy on building something, and then you can look back and be really, you know, I guarantee you're going to be really satisfied with that build because it's complete. You can say, okay, I did that, I'm done with that for now, let's move on, rather than kind of doing I'm going to do a little bit of this, and then but I'll detail it later, and then but let me, you know, zone here, and then I'll detail that later. And yeah, you end up just kind of bouncing around and not really doing anything. Nothing ever looks finished, you know, when you think that way, at least in my opinion. So that's what works for me, is just kind of picking areas of focus that I want to develop in a build. So that's what we're doing today. And so right here, we're gonna go back to our focus build and do a little bit of landscaping. So I do like to landscape I like to put some trees and stuff like really close to kind of overpasses like this. I'm not afraid to kind of really get this area a little bit more dense in terms of the brush. I think it makes sense. Yeah, Lakeshore Drive. So it is odd, right? It is odd, and it's cool. Like, so there's the part of Lakeshore Drive that is right in like the downtown that absolutely sucks. It sucks to drive. It's really congested. There's like stoplights, you know, and it's bad, and I hate it. But it is effective at keeping you a good way out of the downtown. Like, you never have to cut through downtown Chicago to get in and out of Chicago. You just take Lakeshore Drive, which is both good and bad, right? But one thing that's cool though is that once you get either further north or further south and the traffic kind of starts to dissipate, the Lakeshore Drive actually kind of veers off of the direct side of the lakefront, and it turns into kind of like it goes a little bit more inland. And while there's not really any developments like residential buildings or anything like to the east of it, you know, right between like Lakeshore Drive and Lake Michigan, there's a lot of green space. And it's really cool that they take advantage of that and they use it all as like a really nice park. So there's a lot of walking trails. There's a at one point there's like a golf course. There's some marinas, some beaches, you know, so they really do kind of, I'll be honest, like Chicago it has a good amount of green space. And you could take like, I live 15 minutes north of downtown Chicago via car, which is pretty far in terms of Chicago terms. You know, actually, no, I should say 15 minutes. I live about 25 minutes north of downtown. Sorry, I'm thinking of another neighborhood, but I live very far north. And so one thing that I think is really cool is that I can theoretically, if I had like a bike, you know, or something like that, I could go from my apartment down to like the Lakeshore Trail and go all the way to downtown Chicago via the Lakeshore Trail just from my apartment, you know. And I think that's really, really cool. I think this is a really cool piece of infrastructure to have in your city. So yeah, I mean, part of Lakeshore Drive sucks, but part of it's, you know, it is cool. It is cool, and I think it's a cool thing that Chicago has. And personally, like, I don't mind it, except when you're coming home at night and it's closed or something like that, and you have to go another way. That's horrible. You know, that doesn't happen too much. But anyway, I think here we're gonna do a little line of bushes, and for this, I'm just gonna go manually and just kind of plop these down real quick because I want them really close together. And this way people don't have to worry about, like, since we don't have fences in the game, slight complaint there, but no big deal. Oh, come on. Really? Oh, no. We'll use these. There we go. Sorry, I can't help myself. All right. Yeah, so I think not having fences in the game is annoying, and especially like since we had so many network fences and things, you know, before. But this is kind of the way that I combat that, right? I just put like a natural barrier, and it kind of gives the same effect. So now we have this nice separation between the parkland and the net. How was my unemployment? Ooh, I don't know. Not horrible. Not horrible. So in this city, I have this city started very short, like before it was after the Economy 2.0 patch, because if you're new to the channel, I actually started a city on this map right when the game came out, but then it experienced a bug where every single zone changed to like residential, and so like I just opened the game and everything was residential. All my industrial buildings, all my commercial buildings, they were all getting deleted. I was like, what the heck is going on, man? This is crazy, you know. I was so mad, and so I just said, screw it, I'm done with this game. I didn't touch it for like 2 weeks, and then it just said I'm starting a new city on the same map. So this city that you're seeing right now, Grand Keys, this is like 2.0 of City Skylines 2, city number 1, right? But long story short, when I started the city, I really paid attention a lot to unemployment and like jobs and things. And one thing that I pride myself on about my channel and my builds, I have all the region, all of the region packs actually, except for the Eastern European one. And these buildings here are, for example, are the Northeast. A lot of these, some of these are the UK. This is a UK apartment here. These are Northeast. This whole build here, this whole city development, this is a majority of this is the Southwest region pack, except for the row houses. These are vanilla. But yeah, I do use the region packs quite a lot, and I like them a lot. I just don't know how I could use like some of the European ones, like the German ones and stuff. I might think about that a little bit, about how I can kind of build them into this city, but maybe we'll have a cool little, and maybe a different city will have like a cool little German neighborhood or something. But anyway, Anna, back to your question. Yeah, I spend a lot of time paying attention to things like industry and, you know, unemployment. And so I think part of it comes from like balancing your taxes. So your companies are going to level up and hire more people if their taxes are low enough. So I started the city, I raised these up to 11, I think, at one point, but I brought them back down to 10. And honestly, soon enough, I'm probably going to lower them a bit more, because all this is doing is eating into your profits. And so if you want strong demand for offices, doesn't really happen early in the game. You have to kind of have an educated workforce to be able to get office demand, is what I found. It's a more of a late game thing. Even right now, my demand for offices, as you can see, is not very strong. Part of it is because taxes are high, and part of it too is because I don't have that educated of a workforce. The main thing is we only have a community college, which does give us higher education, but we don't have a university yet, which will give us the highest level of education. That's the thing about this game, is that universities and colleges are different. They do like it goes grade school, high school, college, then university. So it's actually another step. So you got to be, you know, you got to be careful of that and be attentive to that. But anyway, let's see if I can do something nifty with like this this area here. I think I might try to do some like, I like the grass. Do something like that. Let's see if we can do this. There we go. Something like that for something different. And so here I want to do a little bit of, what we do, like another little thing with some planters. We're gonna do a line tool here for this. 5, now I'll go 2. Actually, let's go this way first. Actually, let's go this way first. I wish it was continuous, though. Wish it was continuous. Line tool. It's kind of annoying. You have to like stop and click. You know what? For this, go manual there. It's not perfect, but if you're ever looking at that closely again, I know I won't be. So who cares? And then here, yeah, we'll do our little couple London plane trees there. Then I think here, why don't we do a... those are real tall. Nah, let's not do that. What about birches? Yeah, let's do some birch trees. We'll do like... couple aligned birch trees there. For variety. Yeah, asset editor. I know. I'm a little bit like conflicted, right? Because in City Skylines 1, I love mods. All of my builds, you know, had mods, but it was because I was really familiar with the game. And everything at that point, like when I got City Skylines 1, it was already out for like, I think I got it in like 20, oh man, what was it, like 2018 or something? Like it had been out, and there were already like content creators, you know, $2.20 was big. City Planner Plays was big. There were tons of people doing City Skylines 1, and it was like, it was already a big, very, very fleshed out game that was very complete and reliable, and mods were good. You know what I mean? It was still getting patched, you know, don't get me wrong, but the game was stable. This game, as you know, is a little bit different. Excuse me. But this game is a little bit different. So I'm a little bit nervous, as great as it's going to be when the asset editor comes out, and there's going to be tons of cool, you know, assets and mods and things. There's already some great mods and stuff, but to be honest, like, I'm having fun with the vanilla game right now. And part of the fun for me is not having to worry about like opening a save and then all your mods are broken or something like that, right? I think I might, and I know that's one thing about the playsets for this game that makes it kind of cool, is that it gives you the ability to kind of maybe not have to deal with that. You can kind of go back and forth between like a modded build and a vanilla build. but it's the thing that like mods leave different. Sometimes they leave like traces of stuff on your computer, which can make it difficult to really like, you know, play with mods and vanilla. So I'm a little bit nervous about making a transition to like custom assets and custom mods and things. You know what I mean? We'll see though. We'll see in the future if I do decide to do that. I don't know, like right now. I don't know. I'm gonna see. So we'll see about that. But all in due time. I still got plenty of time to think about that. You know, we got a long time until all that stuff starts coming out, probably. So we shall see. Anyway, don't know what to put there. Oh, it's fall. Look at that. Yeah, I don't know what to put here. I thought about putting like a little park, but eh. You know what? Let's do this. What about just like little pathways? Do something like this. Then you know what I'm gonna do? Oh, I know what I'm gonna do. I will say the seasons in this game look... I like that. I like that a lot. All of like the seasonality and, you know, the little changes in the colors and things. That's so cool. I love it. We're gonna expand this like this brush and stuff. Oh nope, not that apparently. Or that. Oh wait, there we go. Yes. Let me place a tree, please. Thank you. Yeah, that'll look good. Look at this. Look at all the colors. So pretty. Except the fact that snow like sticks to some things but doesn't stick to others. That's the one part of the seasons in this game that is not so great. Oh, come on, can I fit like a little one in there? Yes. Yes. Ah, all right. Good enough. Good enough. Cool. What do we got? We're the only... No, it's not the best. And I know that I'm one of the only ones doing it. And I think that's part of the reason that it's actually a little bit... It goes both ways. I see it sometimes as a little bit more limiting factor in terms of people actually gravitating towards the channel. Because, you know, you see like a modded build. And you're like, man, that is so... That just looks so good. It looks so real. And doing that with vanilla is very difficult. One, you don't have like the assets, like the decals and stuff. And two, you just don't have like the move it and everything like that to you know, get things super precise and, you know, make things work the way you want them to always. And so you got to get really creative with how you like build stuff. And personally, I like it. I think it's really stress-free. I think like I said, I don't have to deal with like save games breaking every time the game gets updated. I can literally day one, you know, I turn the game on. Oh, there's a patch. Great. There's new features. Cool. And I open the save and then everything just works. And to me, that is worth right now. That is worth any mod. That I'll take that over any mod that's out right now. Even move it. I'll go out and say that I would rather have a game that works every time I open it, because trust me, even in the vanilla game, I dealt with crashes. And if you've been around, you know, I've known this. You've known this. You've been around for a bit, but I actually had what was I gonna say? I had many crashes, even in vanilla, up until the latest patch. I could not play the game for more than 20 minutes at a time without a crash. And now it's much better. And I mean, like, I have not had a single crash, knock on wood, since the new patch came out. So I will take that any day, right? But yeah, don't get me wrong, even vanilla, I was having plenty of crashes before the most recent update. So I'm glad that that's kind of over for now, it seems. But again, just the ability to open up a game and just not have anything like broken is so underrated. And like, I forgot how much I love that until we had like we've had so many crashes. So yeah, now this is much better. You know what? I'm actually gonna go ahead and just add a couple of parks, little benches. Something like that. Add a couple of trash bins. Little park. See, so now to me, that's what I was talking about earlier. This spot, done. Now, let's move on to doing some of these bus lines. Because this is kind of the reason that I did this stream, is to actually improve the bus lines. So the red bus line is all right. Okay, these are not as bad as they were before. But yeah, Anna, I know, like, I turned off all the mods too, well, like, pretty early on. And I do hate the ability that I can't have, like, key walls and things. That sucks. That really sucks. Doing key walls in vanilla is next to impossible, which is, I shouldn't say next to impossible, but it's why I don't have them. They're very frustrating and very annoying. And so I'm waiting for like the piers and whatever ports, like piers and bridges DLC or whatever that's supposed to come out, that we were supposed to get like right after release. But anyway, not gonna talk about that. But anyway, yeah, that whole DLC, I'm looking forward to that because I hope that they have a way to give us like vanilla keys, or even just like build the upgrade road tool or to like key wall tool like into the vanilla game. That's like the same as a mod, because what does it really hurt? You know, I mean, I like how they did that before with the zoning tool, which is another thing that they don't have here. That's like really strange. But having a zoning toggle in the vanilla game would be awesome. You know, so I mean, like, just things like that. Like, please. Anyway. All right. So let's think about this. Currently we have this bus line that is going to the center, and then it goes this way. Yeah, you know what? We're actually just gonna rethink. We're just gonna do this. I don't have any idea of like what. Okay, except for these. These are just, yeah. So we don't have like any lines going in or around the city. Oh man, they're just going like we have two going out to different neighboring cities, but we don't have anything just in the city, which is goofy. Let me save the game real quick. Just to be safe. But yeah, so I think in terms of lines going around the city, let's just think about this for a second, right? So we want something that's going to go from here, like, to here. So they could take the train here. So I don't think a line, like, along this is, like, an express line, quote unquote, is going to be the most, you know, the most practical. So I think I would rather have something like that maybe goes through this and then, like, over to here. I think that would make sense. I want a second line that goes to here and then to here. And then I want a third line that goes, say, let's say like this way. And then maybe a fourth one that goes like this way over to here. Because this is going to be a little destination for us too. So I think those would both be really, really good to have. So let's actually do that. Let's do that now. Okay, so I always got to remember for bus stops. Let's see how we want this to work. What are these lines? Why are there red lines? I don't have a bus line there. Or do I? We have one that I don't know of? Oh, wait, I do. Oh, this one's just going places, huh? Didn't realize that. Oh, I forgot about this one. Totally forgot about this one, guys. Where's this going? That was like, doesn't want to show me. That's really weird. Where are you? Alright, whatever. I'm gonna delete it anyway. Okay. Yes, the devs do listen to us. Yes, they do. I will say. There's one thing about City Skylines, like people were giving him, you know, a bunch of crap like on release, which I'll admit the release was not great. I think that they should have postponed the date, especially since they still don't have a console version. One of the bus lines can be the tram, maybe the one going to the harbor. Yeah, I like that. And see, that's what's interesting about buses in City Skylines. Typically, they make you do buses first, but usually in my mind, like buses are kind of like, I know they usually come first in a city because they're very easy to implement and they don't require any additional infrastructure other than just like terminals and bus stops, but like they use roads, you know, they don't need like tracks. But the problem with buses is that they're used to like connect everything. And so it's hard sometimes. How did this guy get, what happened? But the hard thing about buses is that you almost want to wait until all of your stuff is built out because then you want to connect everything up with buses. But yeah, I'm thinking of a tram line, like either something here, but that's hard because this is a highway. So I'll see if I can even do that or if I'll have to upgrade these as like one-way roads or something. But you know, a second thing for the tram line would be to do like this loop so that a bus wouldn't have to do that, which I think is a little bit more of kind of what I was going for. So have a bus go this way, like along the highway here to get to this area, and then have a tram that can connect people kind of around this like downtown loop in a way. So we'll see. But I know for sure though, I want a line going here. I want a line going here and here. And actually I was going to maybe throw a tram this way too, to this, because this is a pretty dense spot. It would be nice to have maybe like a turnaround here somewhere, you know, come down here or something. So we'll see about that too. But anyway, let's lay out some of these bus stops. So we have some stops here. We have stops here. Yeah, I want all these. I need one at the train station, and I'll put it further up. Maybe separate the, I assume you mean tram road, and that is a good idea. You know what? You just gave me an idea. So I had an idea for what I was going to put here. When I started the city, this was going to be a rail line. I was going to have a train that went all the way through here. And then I said, I don't really think there's space over here for like a cargo train station or anything. And I don't want freight traffic like going through where my residents are going to be going. So I decided to not do that, but not build here, because I was going to say, what if we repurpose the train line for something else? And you just gave me a brilliant idea about what to maybe repurpose the train line with. So yeah, maybe we'll do that. That's a good idea. Thank you. I didn't think of that. I was gonna put a cool like walking trail there, but we can maybe do both. We'll see. But yeah, I'll keep that in mind when I build the trams. Yeah. Okay. So we'll do a bus stop there. We will do a. What else? Okay. And I did the stop instead of the sign because that's going to be a busy one. Okay, so we do have the harbor here. I wanted something at the school. Yeah, the school needs a bus stop. That just needs to happen. Do something like, I can put them on alleyways too. I don't want to do that though. We're doing here. Okay. And I think we'll do one. Oh, we don't really need one here, do we? I guess we could put one. Well, let me see. Let me see about that. So this one's not. This one's going to be a very much like an express type line. Actually, no, I don't need a bus stop here because I have the freaking terminal. Wait. Come on now. Come on, man. Got this right here. That's what this is for. Oh, jeez. Losing my mind. All right. Try again. So, make a line. Except I already have 3 lines in use. Oh my. Do I have more platforms? I know I have more platforms. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Should I use these? I feel like I should. Let's just go for it. Go for it. Okay. So now, let's go ahead and make a bus line. So we're going to go... we'll go here. And then we will wrap around. This is going to be just, like I said, like an express line. We'll go to... We'll do this. We'll go to Percussione Harbor. Go to this one. We'll go there. We'll go there. And then we'll do a turnaround, like a turn. Geez, how am I gonna do this? It's always interesting. Oh, you know what I could do? No, I don't want to do that. We'll see. I'll add a waypoint to make sure that they're not crossing on the left or whatever. So this will be a way for kind of people to like get to work. I know that's kind of a goofy layout, but I'm not unhappy with it. Oh man, you know what? You know what? No, we're not gonna do this one. We're gonna scrap that. Shoot. I just realized I don't want that. This one we're just gonna have down in the industry. So let's do this again. So let's go. We'll go here. Here. That's why I couldn't get that one to loop around. I forgot that I'd put like all this here. So yeah, we're gonna do this instead. That way people can use this one to kind of mainly get to work. And this is just a quick way to get people around the city into the industry. So I like that. I think that'll be fine. So the next one that we'll do is we will do a line. We'll go up through here, and this is going to be like this loop here using this existing infrastructure. And then so here you figure like people, yeah, you know what? I wonder if I should do like make this like a point of transfer. My only thing is that this is like a very main road. So I kind of don't want like buses like stopping on it, but I almost feel like it should transfer people. People should be able to transfer to this line or to this line. Like if they work, you know, they could get to one of these bus stops and then jump on this blue line here and then go this way. So I think I might actually do that. I'm gonna find a way for people to do this. So let's throw this in here. Throw one there. We'll have oh geez, I want the blue one only. Oh man, it'll be tough. Oh, I could do this. Wait. There we go. Oh nope, can't do that. Do this. Check that out. That's nifty. That is nifty. Yeah, I don't want to see those lines anyway. I'm not dealing with the out of city ones right now. So okay. So now let's do another one. And we're gonna do this one. This one's gonna go gonna be this whole thing here, all the way around. I know this is gonna take up like so many buses, and I'm gonna adjust that when we're done with this, so don't worry about that. Yes, we're gonna go here, and this is like our second project for today. Is gonna be developing this whole area, so it'll be good to kind of get this a little bit of a facelift. Because we actually have a pedestrian road here, so we don't have to make the buses go through the roundabout. We're gonna take a little bit of a detour. Not sure how good that is, but we're gonna try. Actually, you know what? We're gonna do a waypoint. I want them to go in this road. I don't want them to go through here. There we go. Come through here, come through here. And this one will go like there, there. Loop around. Those poor people are going to have a lot of buses by them. Did I forget to go? How did this get here? How did I do that? Must have just been tripping a little bit when I made that bus line. I'm gonna delete those stops. I don't want those. Oh, I think I remember what I did. I think I did like a whole like just an east to west line. Instead of having to go all the way to the terminal, you could just go like this, like straight this way. Which I might actually still do that. Just reuse the same stops. Actually not a bad idea. But anyway, there's bus line 2. I'm happy with that. And there's a bus line 3 is the one that we actually don't have any infrastructure for yet. Yeah, multimodal bridges. Do you mean like drawbridges and stuff? Because if so, then yes, that would be awesome. He has like bridges and piers or something, right? So that'd be really, really cool. Or multimodal meaning like you can have like a road and a train track on the same bridge. If that's what you mean, then yes, I would love that. We've never had that, and I've always had to make east to west should be a tram. It will be. Like this thing right here. Yeah, I like that. I like that. We'll do that. We'll do that too. Do a tram kind of going along this main road here. I could live with that. I like that. At the very least, though, I will have some sort of bus connectivity from like here to here. So we're gonna add a couple new stops. Yeah. We'll do the east west. And yeah, I agree. That would be cool. Like having intermodal stuff, if that's what you're talking about. That'd be awesome. That's a big gap in the game as far as I'm concerned. As far as I'm concerned, wouldn't have like anything like that. But man, this actually doesn't need. Does this even need like that much? Yeah, no, we'll put one. I'll tell you what we'll do. It's gonna be like really. I don't want to have like too many of these. Well, yeah, because we have to stop there, and then you know what we'll do? A stop like here. Doing here. And then we'll do one. Doing here. In here. And then we'll do some by the train station. Of course. Yeah, I think we'll just leave these on the main road rather than trying to get in here because like we have parking. Yeah, I see what you mean. That'd be excellent if we could like do something like that. Let's hear about the park. Yeah, and for this one, we're actually going to reuse the same line. Let me do. Okay, so that one already has one. Where's my two existing ones here? Actually, We'll do something like this. Oh, I see. I see the issue. Let's do... No, I'll just delete that stop. Just don't really need it. Actually, we'll move it like here. How about that? All right, let's make a new bus line. Yeah, you can do stacked roads or stacked bridge. Yeah, I know. I totally agree, because you kind of don't have the ability to do like any of that. No, we don't need that there either. I don't want them. Actually, I'm not the best at making public transit routes, I'll be honest. It's something that I feel like I never get to this point in a lot of my cities, so a lot of my public transit routes kind of just like don't ever happen. That's why I remember in City Skylines 1 I did a series like really early on where I made it a point, like the whole goal of the series was to just have every single kind of public transit in the city or in the game, like somewhere in the city. And I really had a good time with it. So yeah, I'd like to do that again somehow, but anyway, all right, so there's that. And it seems like I could actually... Oh my, there's a lot of people at one of the bus lines. Uh-oh. Oh well. All right, and then let me see. I wanted to do one more. Like going this way. So I might still do that. But I'm running out of terminals. I'm running out of terminals. What to do? I know what to do. I'll pretend to make a new one somewhere. We'll just be goofy, I guess. Get nifty. Like barely enough space there for a bus. So. Do this. Gonna get creative, even though I don't have any bus. Okay, I have nowhere for this bus to go. Great. Okay, so let's do this. Let's put we'll do a stop there. We'll do another stop there. I might just leave it at that. I just want people to like be able to get here, and then they can walk anywhere else. Even to the clinic. Yes, even to the clinic. And then I'll do one. This one I'm gonna have come into town here, and we'll do a nice little loop. I know a lot of bus networks are like point to point, but this one I'm gonna have a little bit of a loop here, just because I want it to reach the campus. So we'll have one by the high school. Then we'll have another one like in there. No, I'm actually forgetting to double these. I'm gonna do that now before I forget. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna delete that one. I'm gonna put one back over here by this path instead. And then let's do another one. We'll do one more like over here by this campus. Then we might do one more like by this park, and that'll be it. Here and there. And then I'm gonna go back through and divide up these like roads so that, you know. This one though, you know what? Man. Yeah, I do like my lines going in both ways. But this one doesn't really have like a... Not that kind of line, is it? This one might just be a one-way loop around here, and I'm just gonna have to live with that. I do kind of want it to be bi-directional though. Yeah, this is what we're gonna do. All right, this is what we're gonna do. Let's do this. So we'll start at this random bus stop here, because I ran out of terminal space. Stop here. Share that one. And we'll just go down the line. Do this. We'll come around the roundabout. There we go. And then I got to add another one here. Dismembered. Then we'll go back. All right, we're gonna try that. We're gonna try that. Then is this gonna be able to? Let me just bump this over there. There we go. All right, so I am happy with that for now. I think that's a lot better. So let's now take a look at some of these lines and just see what's going on here. So this one is going to be bus line 3. I like to name my bus lines because I think it's a little bit more realistic. Usually they have numbers, but then they tell you kind of where they are. So this one is going to be 1, and this is going to be we'll call it Harbor. I kind of want all my buses to be red. Like my favorite color. So we're gonna do that. All right. So that is gonna be, no, we don't want electric buses. And then how many buses are on here? Let's do like, ooh, we have 11. Oh, how many vehicles do I have? 5 already. 5. Oh wait, no, that's with like all the lines. I will do like 4 for this one for now, and we'll come back to it. I know, where are my other lines at? So that's 1. Then this one is going to be we'll call this one. Oh, this one's kind of to the harbor too, isn't it? Call it Harbor North. How about that? Since it is kind of to the north. Make that red as well. All right. Then we'll do bus line 3. I know this is not the most exciting part of the build. I know. I'm sorry. Just bear with me for like 5 more minutes, and then we'll get to some actual building again. So now this one is going to be bus line. What did I say? This is going to be lost count. Lost count now. Oh, this is bus line 3. So this is going to be, what are we doing here? What is this? I don't know which one this is. I think it's this one. Yeah, there we go. Okay. So let's do bus line 3. This is going to be West Percussiona. And then bus line 4 is going to be our last one. Bus line 6, bus line 4. And this will be Percussiona Coast. That one I actually am going to leave as a different color. We'll leave it that blue. I kind of like that. Okay, so this guy's 6. Harbor North is a busy one. It looks like. So it's 6 buses. We got 4, 6. How many do we have? Like 20? Let's look. 25. 25 buses in use. So we have amongst. I just want to see my distribution on my buses. So we have 10, 13, 14. We got 10, 15. Yeah, and then 7 and 10. So it is 25. Okay. I want some buses in the kind of in the reserve. These do not need that many. And of course, they have to be that many because of the length. Oh, I forgot about that. That is kind of annoying. That like the amount of buses like doesn't have, you can't drop it to like 1. I don't understand why you can't do that. But oh well. Yeah, like 5 like that. I don't want that many buses going out of the city. I just want like 2 for each line, you know what I mean? But oh well. All right. So now that we have gotten that done, which I'm very happy with that, and we have some congestion here, but what is this? No vehicles. Dude, what? Oh, okay. Kind of whack. It's kind of weird. Well, you know what I'm gonna do then? We're gonna add to this. I was gonna do that anyway at some point. What better time than the present? Let's do it. Now this should hopefully allow us to have some vehicles here. And yeah, I'm still unsure about this little guy here. But we'll see. Yeah, I gotta admit, this is not the most intuitive way to manage my transit routes. Sorry, I'm just looking at like some of these here. Yeah, I might even drop some of this down for now. Let's actually just do that. Since that one's getting very, very low usage. Yeah, no, I hate that. Why do all the buses have to go to the inner city connections? I don't understand. I don't understand. Yeah, like that one. No, we don't need 6 buses there. No way. Do 4 for that one. That's just going like over there. And I know I learned this from City Planner Plays. There's actually a formula to calculating the amount of buses that you need for a line. I just don't know what it is, and so I have to look that up. And we'll do that. We'll do that like maybe in an actual episode or something. But yeah, there's actually a formula. It's like the number of passengers divided by like the capacity of the bus plus something or whatever. I don't know. We'll figure that out. Only transfer intercity. Yeah, that's what I needed to do. I'll make some more intercity lines for trains eventually. I just don't have the well, I guess I do. Don't I? Well, I guess I don't have it for every city. That's the problem, is that I send them to like a couple of other cities. So we'll leave it for now. There are quite a few passengers though using it, which I think is you know, it's good, right? But yeah, all right. So I think that is going to be our wrap for the bus part of this episode. It seems like a crime has been committed at the bus terminal, which is not good. Yeah, like what are all these people waiting for? I feel like they're waiting for what? What line is this? Let me just figure this out real quick, and then we'll move on. I promise. I bet you it's. Let me just look. What line are you? What line are you? It's one of the 2 intercity ones that people are like really waiting for. Yeah, maybe it might be this one actually. Yeah, 141. Yeah, so this one does have quite a bit. of people waiting. I would guess that maybe this one does too then. Yeah, that just departed. So yeah, it is that inner city line that's really causing a lot of people to wait. So that's interesting. Okay, cool. Well, good to know. Also, it seems. Oh, you know what? This is not in district. Oh, I did not realize that. Okay, we're gonna bump this. I need like a new node here. Hold on a second. I was wondering why my police force wasn't getting here yet, and I was like, what is going on? That's not in the district. That's why. There we go. Now that'll get resolved very quickly, hopefully. Glad I noticed that. Okay. Now that that's done, let's go ahead and jump into some redevelopment real quick. This I might leave for now because I don't know exactly what I'm gonna do with this. I might do something a little bit. Save this for like a little office park or something. But all this stuff I want to start redeveloping. So like, and I'm not gonna spend a ton of time on this, but just something kind of quick, you know, just to get this a little bit of a facelift. So I think what I'm gonna do is turn a lot of the stuff along like this road into this. I might turn into residential because this I don't think is mixed use. No, and then I'll keep the mixed use going along like this road here. But these I might convert to residential. I mean, they already are. This I might. Maybe I'll keep this as mixed use then because of this this commercial building here. So yeah, actually, yeah, let's do that. Let's do. And I kind of like the northeast for now, so I might stick with that. So let's do like something like this, something like that. We'll do that. Then for this, I'll do. How about high density? Northeast. Because why not? Actually, you know what? I'm gonna change that because there's this pretty steep grade here. So we'll do that for now. And then this, I'm gonna do a little bit of high density. And I don't know, should I do some medium density here? I kind of like this park here though, so I might do. Maybe I'll do high density here and the medium density right here. Just kind of call it a day for that block. And then this, I might just get rid of that. Yeah, I'll wait till actually, no, I won't. Sorry, guys. Sorry, so sorry for demolishing your homes. The only reason that I'm doing this, I usually don't do like crazy things like this, but I think redevelopment like this is actually justified. I explained it in the last episode. I said, you know, I think redevelopment here makes sense because this is literally like the first area that I built. And so it makes sense that, you know, you would come back through here and, you know, increase the density and things like that. And just kind of makes sense, I think. And I don't feel bad. I mean, that's what happens in cities, right? Like they grow, you know, over time. And I might do a couple of I'm gonna do a couple of, what do you call it here too? We'll do like something like this. We'll do a regular medium density. So there's a lot of these northeast ones seem to be. I wonder if I do like a 4x. If I do like a 4x4 or a 4x3, if that'll. Yeah, there we go. Something like that. I like the bigger buildings. You know, I don't like these like awkward gaps on my city. But it's fine though, because like we could fill them in with the pocket parks, which are an awesome addition to the game. Let me just say, I love the pocket parks. I think they are great. So let's go ahead and do some high density here. And I will use a lot of the northeast buildings. Hopefully I can get some good variety here. You never know. If I don't, then I'll go through and like just kind of fill them in later with like something different. But for now, I think it kind of looks cool to have a nice little bit of variety. See if we get some good lot sizes. Yeah, like they're like that. Nice. Looking good, looking good. I know that gap is weird, but we'll deal with that. That's okay. Yeah, like this right here, pocket park. What about that guy? Oh, there we go. Do some wall to wall there. That'll look great. So we have medium density here. We have high density all up in the middle. I'll take that for that block. It's looking good. For this stuff, I'm thinking we're going to go more of like a medium density route and then maybe even transition into some row housing in some of these like outer parts like here and here. I don't want to do all high density like past this because we're going to have high density here too. And it doesn't make sense to do like this is not going to be a crazy big city. So I don't want to do like insane amounts of density like all the way, you know, all the way around here and stuff. So we got to have a little bit of a transition, right? So here we'll do more mixed use, I think, along this main road, and then everything behind it is going to be medium density or less. And we'll this I think we're going to do something different with. We might do some medium density here too. I don't even know about the school anymore. Again, I put this down here because I needed a big capacity building, and this was like the only school that we had that was a little bit had a little bit more capacity, right? So I don't even know if we're going to keep that. We might do a little bit smaller of a building and then use some like row housing and stuff here, and probably do a couple more housing projects in this area as well. We have a couple, but I would like to do some ones with the vanilla buildings like we did over here. I think this looked really good. But anyway, all right, let's go to this street here. So in terms of this, again, we'll do like the northeast. And for kicks, maybe I will throw in a couple of the German ones here. Maybe I will. No, let's do it. Let's do it on that corner one and see what kind of buildings I get. And actually, you know what? Let me do. I'll throw it on this corner too. Why not? There we go. Actually, you know what? No, I'll throw it on this corner instead. We kind of have them right across from each other. You know what? I'll leave them on both corners. Let's just see. Let's just see. I'm just curious. I don't know how good they're gonna look. We're just gonna see. Yeah, I thought about that too. That's a good idea. Moving it like over here. Yeah, I forget. The reason I had it here is because when I first built the city, I had like a school right here, and I left this like little green space for it. But now that the city has kind of grown and developed, it might make sense to put it more like nestled in one of these little neighborhoods over here. It's a very New Yorkish. That's what I'm getting from all this. So I don't mind it. I'm not from New York, but I've actually only been a couple of times. And not really gotten to experience it much, to be honest, but I don't know. I don't mind it. I think it's pretty decent. And we'll come back and check out like road layouts and stuff, you know, a little bit later. But at least now I just wanted to get the aesthetic of the buildings looking a bit better. What did I do here? Did I rezone this yet? No, I didn't. So this is gonna be medium density here. And actually, these still gotta go. You gotta go. Yeah, there we go. That is what I like to see. Okay. Progress. Progress is what this is. Let's do some more medium density housing here. One there. That. So sorry, guys. Sorry for demolishing your homes. Oh, that is perfect. Oh, we have a fire already. Brand new building. Must have been some poor construction. Good thing the fire station is right around the corner. Excellent. Excellent. That's so great. Very good to see. Good fire coverage is important in your city. And I think I might even go through and rethink some of that in the near future as well. You see, like this, I don't like what's going on here. This is too big of a gap for me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through and make this a, actually just going to use a vanilla building. Hello. How you doing? Welcome to the stream. Sorry about my voice. I'm getting over a cold. Yeah, I think we still got a solid, like, I don't know, maybe a solid half hour or so in here. Oh, wait, I forgot to get that tile in there. Dang it. Yeah, there we go. That's what we want. Bigger building. We'll have a couple of pretty big buildings in here. Yeah, just a little update what we've been doing. We moved the bus terminal. We made some more bus routes. We've got some good ideas about a future tram network that I'm not going to build probably in this stream because it's getting a little later. But we'll get to that eventually. And also something I thought of, guys. Let me know what you think. Discord in the future. Should I start a Discord channel? I was thinking we're really close to 1,500 subs. I was gonna say maybe once we hit like 1,500 or 2,000, maybe just like officially having a little bit of a Discord, since, you know, starting to get a little bit of a following here, which is kind of cool. A little community going, you know. Always great to see people joining the streams. You know, I've really enjoyed doing these live streams, so it's been something new for me, something a little bit different. But yeah, if you guys think a Discord would be a good idea, you know, let me know. I'd definitely put one together. I'm already on it as is, so I just have to learn how to create a server and all that, you know, but we'll maybe we'll be able to make it happen. Y'all could share your cities and all that too. I'm curious to see what people are building, you know. Yeah, I might even come through and redevelop some of this stuff. Maybe now, maybe later. Yeah, let's go back to some of the medium density over here now. So yeah, you can see we have the same asset here a couple times, like just some different colors, like this one and these two are the same. So I'm not like the biggest fan of that, but I mean, I don't know, it kind of is what it is, I guess. It's not the end of the world. Same with like this, we could actually have like probably a whole other building here, which is kind of goofy. But oh well. Oh well. This one's fine because it's got the pathway behind it and stuff. Yeah, I guess that's okay. And the German ones don't look too bad. There. We're gonna leave them. We're gonna leave them. I like them as the corners. I think that looks kind of cool. We're gonna leave them there. It's kind of different. Yeah, like this, the two of the same building right by each other. Nah, I don't want it. We're getting rid of that. Sorry, guys. Sorry, not sorry. We're gonna do we'll just do vanilla medium density. How about that? If I can find it. All right, I like that better. Okay, now let's move on to this block here. No, we're just cranking through this. But you know what? This is what you got to do sometimes. This is what you got to do. Just got to redevelop, do some things. And you know, this one actually, I'm going to do a little bit of a, what we do, vanilla, do vanilla there too. And then we'll do a northeast right there. Oh, do they not have a building for it? Come on, man. Oh, dang. Oh, well. Let's see if we can do this instead then. If I did that. You can get something interesting in here. Of course not. All right, well, this is going to be either an alleyway or a little couple parks. That's what we're going to do there. We're going to go from hospital train to the center of the city. Yeah, so the plan for a tram network right now is to do something like this. We might have one that's going to go like this way. So we do have a bus line that goes this way, but we might have one that goes like this way. And then we're going to go kind of like this. Something around here. Because right now I have like buses going like this way and to here, into here, and then from like here to here, but I don't have anything going like just like this, because trams to me are not meant to be like long distance. So you know, if you want long distance, you do a train or like maybe a subway, but even subways are more localized. So I think, you know, something like around here, and I think I might even have like an offshoot to this train station over here, or this city over here, but that's going to be like, I mean, that's pushing it in my opinion. I kind of For this city, I like to keep everything a little bit more scaled down. So just having a little central tram network might be kind of cool. Or on the collector streets. Yeah, you're talking like maybe like something like over here. Oh, collectors. Sorry. Those are arterials. Yeah, like kind of around the middle. Slim pocket in between the buildings. I know. I'm curious about moving trams like off of the. Oh, slim pocket park. Yeah. I know what you're talking about. Like you can see, I've done that with some of these here. So I did one like in the last couple episodes, or the last episode, I did one like here. I put in some little alleyways and did one. There's another couple hiding out somewhere over here, where I shoved in a little pocket parks. But yeah, they work. They're so perfect for things like that. Just can kind of plop them down right in there. They'll work. And I realized that you can actually, you can turn them. If you don't lock them to the road, you could turn them to kind of, even if they're not meant to face like, some of them are meant to be like parallel, some of them are meant to be perpendicular. So you can even change that if you just, unlock them from the road and rotate them, like this, right? So if I for example, want to place down this one, you can see this one wants to be parallel, I think. Yeah. Or no, actually it might want to be, no, see, it wants to be parallel. Well, actually, no, it does want to be perpendicular because I can do that. Yeah, I need to find a 3D one. I'll look for that in a second. But yeah, in terms of what else we're doing here, so we got, like that building, that's cool. The new fitting in right next to the old. I like that a lot. Digging it. I'm digging it. So we got that. Let's see, what else do we have here? Nice corner building there. These are all going to be medium density. So we'll do northeast medium density. I got like a big building there, and then maybe we'll do like some vanilla ones here. Do like that. Now these two are going to be the same. I can already tell you that. Now let's do like something like this. Oh, I don't want. There we go. Let's do that. And we'll fill this in. Do we have a 3x3? Yes. I always forget the asset sizes that we get, in all of like the little packs, the region packs. There's so many to keep track of. I know City Planner Plays does a good job of like trying to keep track of those, but I just like can't keep up with it all. Can't do it. Too much going on. Yeah, I think we'll probably call it a day here in like 20 minutes or so, just like on the hour. No, it depends on the style for a city, for example. Yeah, right. So I take a lot of inspiration from Chicago, because that's where I live. And Midwestern cities, trams are not a thing in America, period. There are not a lot of cities with tram networks, aside from San Francisco has like the cable car, but that's because of the hills. So, what you see in American cities, they're so big, they're so sprawled out. You see a lot of elevated rail, you see a lot of subways, and you see a lot of bus networks. You do not see a lot of trams. So that's why I think it's kind of hard for me sometimes to think about tram networks, because I'm just not used to them. And so to me, I always feel like trams are something that, are along main roads, and they're local, but they're less frequent than buses. So buses are your most localized forms of transit, but then you have tram networks are kind of the next step up of that. Like they might, for every 2 bus stops, there will be like 1 tram stop, right? And like, for example, when I studied abroad in Sevilla, in Spain, and they have a tram network. They have 1 tram network, and it just goes from the downtown, like, to the main bus station. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, so we'll see what happens. Also, it's funny in the States, man. There is no common transport. It's cars. Like, let's be honest. But somebody said something interesting the other day. As I zone this out, let me talk about this because it's kind of cool. So somebody was talking about, like, I read something. I think it was on Instagram or something. I saw it, but somebody said, like, you know, why America is so, like, car centric. And they're like, it's because of World War II. And I was like, you know what? That's actually a cool thought. Like, I never thought of that. You know what I mean? I never thought of that. And when you think about it, like, that's kind of true. I mean, you know, we're even going to be fun. We're going to throw a UK apartment in there real quick. But, you know, in after World War II, there was tons of access manufacturing. There was tons of everybody started buying cars because, like, they could be made very affordably. Oh no, I didn't want to do that. No. Oh no. Oh well. Anyway, they could be made very affordably, and people started to have them as part of, like, a day, like, you know, everybody could have a car. And so it was really cool when yeah, I guess it was really cool when that happened, you know. And you don't think about World War II about being like a driver behind why cars became so popular in America, but it was just because, you know, after that there were so many manufacturing jobs, people were able to make a lot of money. You know, a family of 4, like, one person could provide the household income if they had, like, a big, you know, like a regular industry job. So everybody started buying cars because they were being cheap. They were being made cheap, much more cheaply, and yeah, that, you know, the rest is history, right? So I think that's really, really cool when you think about it that way. And excuse that this loud banging that's about to happen. That is my heater. I live in an old building with old radiator heat, so every time it turns on, it sounds like death. But bear with me here. And you know, we might even throw. We got a big commercial demand. We might throw some mixed use along this road. And actually, you know what? I'm tempted. No, I'm not going to do that. But I am tempted to. But I'm not going to. We'll throw some mixed use down on this road here. So you know what I'll do? And we're going to do. How about just for kicks? What if we do, like, a whole little, like, German block here? Not a whole block, but just, like, we'll do, like, all this like that. I'm just curious. I just want to see how it looks. Yeah, and it's funny that you say that, because a lot of people, like, I guess I'm one of those people. I take pride in my car, and I would, if I had the choice between a big house or, like, a fun, nice car, like, I wouldn't call myself, like, a car guy. I don't know a lot about cars. You know, that's a term in America. We call it, you know, car guys, right? You have sports cars, and you tune them up, and you know, you work on them. I'm kind of somewhere in between. I like cars. Correction, I love cars, but I wouldn't consider myself a car guy, because I just don't know how to, like, fix them and work on them. But if I have the choice any day to between a nice car and a big house, I'm choosing cars every time. I love cars. I think they're awesome. I think they're fun. I love to drive. And yeah, that's just, for me, I mean, that's all day. All day. I will have a small house with a big garage and have tons of cars, and I would be very, very happy. So that's the plan. That's the plan one day. But yeah, that's my take on all that. Yeah, see, I guess the problem is here is you kind of got to get, like, stuff. See, now, is this going to be, if I do like that? I'm trying to get some variety here in my assets. I don't like just having the same building over and over. You don't have taxes as high as in Europe. Yeah. I don't know a lot about European taxes, actually. I know nothing about that. And taxes here are they're income based, which is I don't know if that's the case for, you know, like the rest of the world. But yeah. So if you actually pay more taxes if you know, earn more money, which is a little bit interesting. I feel like all this right here, all this is going to be, I don't know, should I redevelop all this? I feel like some of these buildings could use a bit of a facelift. I think maybe this guy. It's kind of the same, you know. Yeah, let's do that. And these I might leave as, I don't know. These I might do some row houses. I mean, for sure, these blocks. Yeah, see, like this. I'm not the biggest fan of that. Oh, they're literally exactly the same. What if I do like? I do that, and then give me a. Just throw like a vanilla building in here. And you know, I could be using like the Southwest, but I'm just not gonna do that right now. You know, I think here I am gonna do some row housing. Oh, I got a cool courtyard. Yeah, I don't mind the German buildings in a call it controversial, but I like the German buildings in my North American style build. I'm not opposed. I'm really not opposed. I think they look all right. But yeah, for this part, yeah, this block here, I think I'm gonna do some medium density again. Yeah, let's do some medium density here. So let's do. I'm gonna do like this, something like that. We're just gonna go all the way around. One fell swoop. Oop, delete. Oh, that's a big one. Cool. Which one's that gonna be? That'll be a cool building. So Romania, what do we got? Displacement insurance. Also 500 driving external roads. Yeah, so if that's euros, then I forget the exchange rate right now, but at one point, I remember when I was studying abroad, like a euro was relatively equivalent to the dollar. I mean, it wasn't drastically different, but nonetheless. 3-liter diesel, 600 for displacement insurance. Yeah, we have like monthly insurance. We don't have any like kind of road taxes or anything like that, which is interesting. And yeah, gas in America is expensive, and diesel cars are not as much of a thing here. Ah, thank you. Perfect. Yeah, diesel cars aren't much of a thing in America. So, you know, I mean, they're people have them, and they're you know, kind of more common now, but a lot of cars are still, you know, gas or petrol for all of you folks overseas. But yeah, personally, I like my my gas powered car. I'm a big fan. That's what I have. Diesel, in my mind, diesel is for trucks. Diesel is for trucks. Semi-trucks and things of the like. So already you could tell this looks so much better. So much better. Oh, that's closer than I thought. Wow. I know it fluctuates. I think usually it sits at about, I think it's like 1.2 like $1.30 is equivalent to the euro. But I could be wrong. Or at least when I was abroad, that's kind of what it was. Alrighty, man, this parking garage is full. Wow. Checking our transit. How are we doing? Still so many people trying to get out of here. Sorry, guys. I'm sorry. This bus stop's got quite a crowd too. Looks like. Yeah, you can probably hear my heat squealing away now, so sorry about that. Oh my. Oh my. What is going on here? Apparently everybody here wants to go to Percussion Coast. There are a lot of people over there too. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna throw another 2 buses on this line. Gasoline is for a train saw and diesel is for chainsaw and diesel is for tractors. Yeah. Fair enough. Yes, yeah, diesel is for tractors here too. But yeah, we got gases for cars, lawnmowers, chainsaws, you name it. Yeah, we don't have too many diesel cars. Where in Europe have I been? I have been to... Ooh, I gotta think. Okay, so I studied abroad. I went to a bunch of places when I was abroad because we had Fridays off from school. So we only had classes Monday through Thursday. So I went to a lot of cities in Spain. Like I stayed in Sevilla, but I went to Madrid. I went to some small cities like Ronda. Well, Barcelona's not a small city, but even like Malaga, like a bunch of cities in Spain. I went to London, Edinburgh, Scotland, Dublin, Ireland, Rome, Italy, Paris. Went to Paris. Hey, check it out. We got a promotion. Pinfall Palace bowling alley. Oh my gosh, that's awesome. That's a big thing in like some other places now too, like bowling alleys, having like expensive bowling alleys, like upper class. It's kind of funny. Like I don't want to pay. I don't like it. I don't want to pay. Bowling to me is a cheap fun sport. It's a sport that you do when you want to go and pay for like $3 beers. You know what I mean? That's what I want if I go bowling. But anyway, oh, you live close to Malaga? Spain is so beautiful. I love Spain. I absolutely love it. I've been meaning to go back, but the problem was, what did I study? I actually, just a couple of fun facts here. So, as my name suggests, my channel name, I am a drummer. I've been a drummer all my life. Well, most of my life, I guess, since I was like 8. But, you know, I ultimately, though, I went to college or university. I studied finance. And I had minors in music and Spanish. So in America, you know, you get what's, you know, called a degree. And that's like your main focus of study. And then you can have, they call it your major. And then you can have what's called minor. So you can have like additional fields of study that do not require as many classes as your major. So my major was in finance and international business, and then I had 2 minors in music and Spanish. So part of the study abroad program was for my, you know, it was like part of the business school, but then I was able to complete my Spanish minor, obviously, and I lived with a host family and everything, and became very fluent in the language when I was there. And then I came back to the States for my final year of college, finished my degree in finance, and then that was the problem with that. It was 2020, and so that's when COVID started to happen. And so the second half of my final year of school, they shut everything down, and we had to go, you know, we had to leave. Like there were no in-person classes anymore. We had to go fully remote and study online for the rest of the school year. So that sucked. That was not fun. But after that, you know, I got a job right out of school, working in the finance industry in Chicago, and now I work. That's kind of what I do now, and I've had the same job since I got out of school, and I do financial. I call it financial litigation consulting. So basically, we get hired by attorneys to or lawyers to come up with the amount of damages that we think somebody should be paid or have to pay in a lawsuit. So things like, you know, if companies are infringing on another company's patents, that's a big thing that we do a lot. Or breach of contract, wrongful termination, you know, things like that. That's all part of like what we do. So that's what I do now. It's kind of like I get to work on legal cases and, you know, work like with the court system without actually having to have a law degree, which is pretty cool. So I'm a fan of that. I like my job. I think it's a cool job. But yeah, that's my little study and work background. And then, you know, it's cool with the music minor. I still got to play and play drums and everything in college, and, you know, play like in the jazz band and do like performance ensembles and stuff. And I took a lot of classes about musicians like Jimi Hendrix and the Beatles and everything. And you know, now to this day, I still play in bands. I love playing music. I do it all the time. Yeah, I just, you know, I'm always going to be a musician and always going to play. So lots of fun. But yeah, this is a little bit of a background of what I do outside of this. This is, you know, at the end of the day, like right now, this is clearly just like a hobby for me, because I don't have the magnitude of a channel to actually make this like a full-time job or anything, right? So maybe one day, but that day is not today, sadly. We'll see, all in due time, right? But for this, let's go ahead and do, I want to add some of these one-way streets here. I like these a lot. Delete that. Let me think about what I want to do here for just a second. Anything we could have heard? Oh, like my music? No. No, I don't have like a lot of original music, but I play a lot of but my bands that I play in, I do a lot of covers. Oh yeah, tons of stuff. We play a lot of like, I love classic rock, so we play a lot of like Led Zeppelin. Stevie Ray Vaughan was a great blues guitarist. He was very American, but yeah, Led Zeppelin, the Beatles, Jimi Hendrix, bands like that. If you ever know them, even like the Who, you know, so stuff like that. Yeah, we play all kinds of stuff. And that's what I always play now. Let's see what else we got going on here. Where's my? Gotta put down these last. Oh, whoops. These last few kind of row houses here. Yeah, it is cool. I like I said, I genuinely love it. I love to play music. I mean, I'm always gonna do it. I tell everybody You know, I'm like, hey, I'm never gonna give up being in a band, right? Like, even if it's just for me, it doesn't pay a lot, which is why I don't do it full time or can't do it full time. But for what it's worth, you know, it's tons of fun, and that's what I like about it. I'm gonna throw a little playground here. I haven't done much for park. I haven't even thought about parks this entire time. I'm terrible about placing down parks. Oh my goodness. That's bad. That's bad. I haven't thought about parks the entire time. What am I doing? I can't put that there. No road. What about this? That looks awful. Maybe I'll just make this whole area like a cool little park kind of off to the side. All right, let's see. What else do we got left to do here for today? Just these last couple blocks, and then I think we'll call it here. I'll just fill these in with some row houses, and then we'll tackle this main street and stuff a little bit later. Because I didn't even realize I've been doing this for 2 hours. Oh my goodness. Time flies when you're having fun. This was a great stream. This was a great stream. Chat's been going. I got a lot done. Hit no person, no sidewalk because of, yeah. Oh, true. Everybody's just driving anywhere anyway. That's the thing though. When I build these cities and city skylines too, like so I'm struggling. This city obviously is going to be kind of a long-running series, and we're already on episode 20, and there's a lot more to do. But I think I'm getting in a good pace now of like kind of, you know, maybe I'll live stream like these redevelopments, but then each episode will be just like a bigger project, you know. And so I'm trying to think about how this is going to go forward. And, you know, obviously this isn't going to be the only city that I'm going to do. And so pretty soon I want to start thinking about maybe like another city that I could start within the next couple of months. Because ultimately, like, getting in the same city it is sometimes hard to use, like, to get motivation all the time to keep working in the same city. So it would be nice to have motivation to open the game and jump into something a little bit different and kind of go back and forth between like this and a different city. So I don't know. I'm thinking about doing something a little bit more. Yeah, I think we're gonna do a forestry industry in here too. I want to, in this region, I actually want to use all of the industries in one way, shape, or form. So I think I was gonna say over here, I'm gonna do a forestry industry, maybe in the future, maybe. And then over here, there might be some big oil deposits or something. Like I kind of looked over here, so I might do like an oil city somewhere, and then a mining city maybe somewhere else on the map. I forget where there's some, or there might be some of these like valleys here. So I want to have all of the resources and kind of build a city around each of them. But that's all to come. That's all in the maybe near or far future. But yeah, like this farmland already, like I'm already like not happy with it, and I'm probably gonna get rid of it and push it out and make this like some, you know, some more suburban sprawl or something. But like, yeah, all of these, yeah, I know. The only reason that I don't want to do forestry industry like right here is because the way that the city is now, it like, in my mind, that would have happened already. Like, I don't know. It's a little bit close to the rest of the dense city for me. So I was thinking like converting this into some suburbs and doing like a designated forestry industry, like kind of on its own. But yeah, I get your point, because I did think about that. I did think about doing some forestry industry all around here. But I wanted to make the industry a little bit more established and kind of imagine that the city, you know, is like actually is older, and, you know, things are happening organically. And at this point, like, you wouldn't have you know, like trees still being cleared here. I mean, you might. I don't know, but in my mind, I just feel like any forestry would have already happened. What PC laptop would I suggest? Ooh. Yeah, farming is tough. That's why I'm using like just like this middle part is kind of my farm area, and maybe like some stuff over here once we get out here. But that's kind of it. There's not a ton. PC laptop. So short answer is a good one. I hate to say it, but that is the sad truth. Optimization on this game is not great, and my computer is very good. I built it a couple of years ago, and it has, at the time, it was like kind of the best processor coming out. It was like I think an Intel what was it, like a 12th or 13th gen, like the 12900K or something. I forget what it's called. I should post my specs in the description. I'm sorry that I don't do that. Let me do that on my next video. I will make sure to put my PC specs in the description, because that is actually some useful information, especially when I'm playing like City Skylines 2, because I feel like a lot of people aren't able to run this game, and I would also be curious about what you would need to actually play this. But yeah, that short answer is a good PC. I've got a really good graphics card. I'm running an NVIDIA. Let me peek my head down here to look real quick. Sorry. It's a NVIDIA GeForce RTX. I believe it is the 4070 Ti. I think. Again, I'll put it in the description. But long story short, I spec'd out this computer. It's very good. Cost me about $3,000, $3,000. So you do need a pretty good. And granted, mine is a little bit overkill. I think I'm running this game, you know, at like pretty much max settings, and you can see I'm not getting 60 FPS, but I'm getting 40-ish, depending on where I'm at. So, it's smooth, which I'm very happy with. But yeah, I'd say you'd at least need. City Planner Plays did a whole video about like PC performance benchmarks, and he tested a bunch of different graphics cards and processors and combinations and stuff. But laptops, you definitely need some kind of gaming laptop. Like I know like Alienware makes some, like Asus makes some, I think, that are pretty good, or Acer or Asus, I forget which one it is, but one of them makes like a good gaming computer, or a good gaming laptop. But yeah, like you definitely couldn't run this on like a Mac. You definitely couldn't run this on like a regular, you know, work laptop or anything like that. You definitely need something with some good power. But yeah, that's my suggestion. If you're looking at desktop PCs, I would say definitely something at least over the 2000. If you're looking pre-built, probably over the $2,000 mark would get you a really okay PC. If you're not building it yourself, if you're doing a pre-built, I would say something. I mean, 3,000 would get you something absolutely insane, kind of like what I have. But I don't know what's out there. Yeah, you need a strong CPU. Graphics are whatever, honestly. But you need a CPU because of the game, because the game is simulation based. You do in fact need a very strong CPU to run it, because you got to figure every single person, their whole life, all of your citizens, their whole life is calculated individually. Yeah, Asus Tough Gaming, that's the one. Yep, that's absolutely the one that I'm thinking about. But yeah, so you got to keep, you got to remember, like, there's a lot going on in this game behind the scenes that I think a lot of people often don't even realize. But every decision and car and bus and person deciding where they're going to go and where they're going to walk to and where they work and where they go to school, like, that's all being calculated, right? So Lenovo's one that I'm not super familiar with, but yeah, no, I've looked at some stuff from them too. We were talking about the island. What, like this island? Yeah, the thing with it, you know, I could do something with this. I could like flatten it and actually like use it. But that would be cool. I could like do something across here and make this actually like functional. You know, because right now it's just like just there. Can't do anything with it because there's no buildable space here, so I can't do anything with that. But yeah, maybe I don't know. Maybe I will. Maybe I will in the future. Maybe I'll do something with this island. That would change everything because that would make this like almost like Manhattan, like New York. That'd be really different. Oh, game just shuttered there for a second. I got worried, but no big deal. Just saved. Yes, the city does need a new school. It needs many new schools, actually. Not enough customers? Oh my goodness. Wow, that's crazy. Unemployment rate went up, but we have many more residents, so our population went up as well. But yeah, look at education. I don't even want to look at this. Oh, it's so bad. It's so bad. I'm so sorry. Oh my goodness. Yeah, we definitely need... I'm probably going to move this here or come up with some alternative solution. Yeah, we're going to think about a new school. 100%. That's for another time. High schools is okay though, and same with college. I'm surprised, but elementary we are slacking bad. So we need some. All right, let me just fill in this last little group of row houses here, and then we're gonna call it a day, I think. And I'm sorry, I'm just getting rid of everybody. It's the quickest way to do it. Buildings in this game just take too long to develop. Yeah, actually, you know what? I actually could upgrade the school. I could just like do this and make it even more out of place than it is already. Yeah, I might move this like over like here or something. Look a lot better. Maybe a campus with a few. Yeah, no kidding. No kidding. Yeah, maybe what I'll do, maybe I'll move this over here, and then I'll put another one like over here somewhere, like another school, because we have these cool. I've been wanting to use like one of the German elementary school because it's super. It has a very high capacity, and it looks like, to me, it reminds me of like a private school. Maybe I'll put that like over here or something. Yeah, I like that. You know what? I'm not gonna do it now, but I'm just gonna leave this blank so I kind of remember that. I'm just gonna get rid of those lower end houses. And we will do another, like I said, we will do some more housing projects. Because the city needs them. And, you know, people need an affordable place to live, so we just don't have that. Like right now, I mean, let me just take a look at like land value. Wealth is high. Industrial profit is sad. Wow, why? That sucks. Actually, they're low levels. That's why. Nobody's level 5 yet. Because I don't have, none of these people have rail access, which I gotta get. I gotta build a cargo station soon enough. Anyway. Yeah, I need another industrial district. That's why I was thinking about kind of repurposing this farmland for industry, except I think my wind direction is not, yeah, that's not ideal for that. So I might expand this industry a little bit more and kind of do some more work over here. But Yeah, industry right here is kind of tough. And oh my gosh, what has happened here? A massive accident on the expressway has, oh my goodness, there was a bus. This car's on fire. Oh jeez, this car's on fire. What's going on over here? How did it even get over there? What the heck? These crazy drivers. Cargo port, that's a whole nother episode. Believe me, I've thought about where I'm gonna put that. And yeah, I don't know. That's gonna be a big project, and I am still a little bit. What was going on over here too? There's cars in the water. How did that get down there? Oh my goodness. Yeah, because like I was thinking about doing like a port city, like where was I looking again? I don't know. I might try to find a way to make this into like, it'll involve a ton of terrain work, which I kind of hate doing sometimes, but I feel like this would be a good spot for a port. It's on this channel. This would have been it, or this, but the port asset is really big. And so it's hard to justify, like, it's hard to find a place to put it. I was going to do it here, I was going to do it here, and then I got carried away and built these areas. So I'll kind of admit, I'm actually unsure about where I'm going to put a port in this map. Maybe here. This is a really nice artificial port, but then again, we have this massive terrain difference. Same with this. Like, this is just not practical for a port. This could be. This could be. And just have, like, some things kind of come down in here. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see about a port. Actually, what about this? This isn't a bad spot here. This is pretty low. We could do some terrain work. Oh, actually, it's not. There's a lot of things going on here, but either way. Yeah, first need to make some more. I do need to make some more episodes. I got a lot going on. Yeah, what's going on here? Oh my gosh, now this person needs an ambulance. Yeah, I know, man. You're like all the way out here. What am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to do? Yeah, we got a lot of things to do in the city, but all in due time. There's many accidents happening. Well, why is my eco-friendly? Yeah, what is going on? Oh my gosh. Oh, here's the fire department stuck in traffic. Use the shoulder, man. Come on now. Oh geez, this is crazy. All right. Well, you know what? I've done all I've wanted to do. I'll do a little bit of work like off camera, like kind of going through and you know, changing up some of these streets, maybe making some of these into one ways and just kind of, you know, making some tree line streets or something like that, because you know the city needs more of that. I always love a good tree line street. But I think for now, I think I'm gonna go ahead and call it an episode here. This was a great stream. Thanks to everybody who jumps in. Yeah, episode 50. Episode 50. Reasonable goal there. I think we can make that happen for sure. But the port's a big project. But yeah, I guess in terms of next steps, other side of the bay, just across the bridge. Yeah, like here. Because if that's the case, then we just have to do a lot of terrain work. That's all. I just have to smooth like all this out and just make something really artificial, which honestly I don't mind because it kind of makes sense in a spot like this. That we can do a bunch of industry here, and I always thought about doing that because at the end of the day, like, I mean, you know, changing the map a little bit, like, who cares? We'll see. We'll see. We just have to get down to sea level, which is tough. You got to work with a lot of hills. But yeah, the airport, I thought about that the other day, about where am I going to put my airport, and I said I have no idea. I'm thinking over here. Probably over here. But it's so far from this. But this might not be like the biggest city on the map. You know, you never know. but it'll be a regional airport. But we'll see. But anyway, in terms of next immediate episodes, I'm not sure what I'm gonna do yet, actually. Or on the island. Yeah, airport on an island, very, very practical. Could be even this island. This island's nice and flat. Do something there. But yeah, literally, Chicago has one. It's no longer real, or no longer works. But we have a artificial. It's called Northerly Island. It was an airport, and now it's not. Now it's a concert venue. Interesting. But anyway, in terms of next episodes, I think we are going to either expand this and turn this into like kind of a second city. That's very, very high on my priority list right now, because I am just itching to build another, like a whole nother city. I think it would be really cool for the region. A second project would be developing all of this over here and just kind of, you know, shaping this and making this like a pretty waterfront and everything. But to do that, I need to push out some of this industry. So I need a place for this industry to go. So I think I may lean towards jumping over here in the next episode and doing something really cool. Just like a big build, you know, laying out a big kind of master plan city and just, you know, doing something a little bit quick and then just calling it a day. And, you know, we have this like highway here. We could have kind of the downtown sit like right over here. And then, yeah, and then I don't know. I'm tempted now. I'm tempted to do like some kind of port over here, but I feel like the asset is just so big. I don't know where I'm going to fit it. I could like bump this out and do it like down here. And then have some really cool like highways kind of hugging the cliffside. Oh man, I got some ideas. I got some ideas, guys. We're going to see. We're going to see what happens, but I got some ideas. But anyway, I think this is going to be it for the episode. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you have any ideas for future episodes, you know, leave them in the comments to any of my videos anytime. And yeah, we'll get the tram network set up. Maybe that's something we could do in the next episode too, is get a tram network going. Because that's something that I've actually been wanting to do. And I did want to have a couple of fixes also for this, based on some comments that I've gotten. But yeah, I'll go through off camera and kind of set up some parks and things, you know, around here and kind of detail this area up a little bit. But, oh, is this even zoned? Dang, why is there no building there? Whatever, I'll put a park there. But yeah, I don't want nothing just super square. I know, I like using the terrain to my advantage, which is, you know, I mean, cities are built in grids, but I like to be a little bit different. So we'll see. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I really appreciate it. I'm gonna go ahead and log off and go do some other stuff, you know, on my Sunday. Go and do some stuff around the house and probably play some drums, to be honest with you. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I appreciate the chat. Always love talking to you guys. And yeah, sorry this was kind of a spontaneous live stream, but you know, turned out to be a good one. And I really enjoyed this, and I feel like we got a lot done. I feel like the city looks way better. I am loving it. Yeah, good night. Good evening for me. It's only about 5:30 here, but yeah, thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it. And yeah, I'll post, you know, when I decide to do another one. I've been doing more live streams lately, just kind of as time permits. So who knows, you know, maybe I'll do like a live stream every 5 episodes or something. We'll see. But anyway, take care, have a great night, and I will see you guys very soon in the next episode.